Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are really cutting through the noise in the AI world because something genuinely revolutionary has happened.
Yeah.
And it directly impacts your bank account and maybe even your job description.
It really does.
We are diving deep into DeepSeek V3.2. This is the advanced language model that has, just by being made freely accessible, completely reset the competitive map for AI.
You know, this isn't just another upgrade. It's more like a strategic shockwave.
A shockwave, I like that.
Yeah, and the central theme for our deep dive today is something we're calling the democratization of advanced cognitive capabilities.
Okay, break that down.
Well, think of it this way. The kind of performance you'd normally associate with the most expensive, the most proprietary model.
Well, the ones you pay a lot for.
Exactly. That is now being offered for free, right on their public platforms. This is the moment elite intelligence basically goes open source.
Wow.
And that changes the entire cost structure of cognitive labor globally.
So it feels like we are literally getting the keys to the AI kingdom for free.
That's it.
So our mission for you, the listener, is to understand why this accessibility is, well, it's a threat, it's an opportunity, and why it changes the global AI ecosystem almost overnight.
Exactly. And to guide that, we're going to hit 4 key areas. First, the technical facts, the raw power of the architecture, and its reasoning.
The nuts and bolts.
Right. Then we'll move into the practical impact with some real-world case studies from creative and tech industries.
Okay.
Third, and this is crucial, we have to spend some time on the ethical and social implications. I mean, what happens when you give this much power away?
A big question.
And finally, we'll look forward. What's the future trajectory for conversational AI based on the roadmap this model seems to be laying out?
Okay, let's unpack this right now. When we look under the hood, what's the single most powerful technical feature that DeepSeek V3.2 has that just sets it apart?
I'd say it's the sheer capacity for deep immediate memory, what they call the context window.
The context window.
They've hit 128K tokens. And for you, the user, that means the AI has enough short-term memory to process. Well, get this, the equivalent of a 300-page novel.
300 pages.
Or, say, an 80,000-word legal brief, all within a single conversation. It holds all of that context at once.
That's a huge leap in scale. I mean, a model that forgets the first paragraph when it reaches the third is just, it's useless for serious work.
Completely.
So the memory is solved. But memory is one thing. Here's where it gets really important for me. Reasoning. The documentation is claiming a 15 to 20% jump in mathematical reasoning. Frankly, that sounds a little bit like marketing fluff. Is that a real-world improvement?
That is a fair challenge because reasoning, especially abstract mathematical and scientific reasoning, has always been the Achilles heel for these models.
Right.
But the improvement is validated. This performance, especially on benchmarks like math and GSM-8K, is documented to compete directly with premium models like GPT-4.
So this isn't just a small step up.
No, it's the difference between an AI that can maybe solve a middle school algebra problem and one that can logically approach a graduate-level physics question. It's a qualitative jump.
And even though it's mainly a text model, we can't ignore the multimodality they've built in. What can V3.2 actually handle besides text?
Well, it's a really crucial layer of practical versatility. It doesn't generate video or anything like that, but you can upload and extract information from PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoints, even Excel spreadsheets.
Okay, that's useful.
And more importantly, it can analyze images that have text in them. So you're not just copy-pasting. You can hand it a messy quarterly report, charts and all, and just ask it to summarize the key financial risks.
So if the architecture gives it the memory and the performance backs up the intelligence, how did they do it? How did they train this model to suddenly start thinking better? It's not magic.
No, it's not magic. It really comes down to the quality and the nature of the data they fed it. The secret is in the data structure.
How so?
They didn't just feed it answers, they fed it step-by-step reasoning chains. So the whole process.
The whole process. Imagine millions of hours of curated scientific and philosophical data where the model was forced to see not just the conclusion, but the entire logical path to get there. They taught it how to build an argument.
And that sophisticated training approach, that's what led to this discovery that still got researchers talking, this emergence of metacognition.
Precisely. The comparative study from MIT early this year really called it out. Metacognition is, well, it's A rudimentary ability for the model to reflect on its own reasoning.
Like a mental debugger.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
If it comes up with an answer, it doesn't just spit it out. It checks its own logic against known principles first.
So it's kind of like an engineer double-checking their math or a writer editing their own draft for consistency.
Exactly. And that self-correction ability was, until very recently, considered exclusively human.
That is genuinely transformative. If it moves us from just predictive text into something that looks a lot more like a logical evaluation.
So let's pivot to the real world. What does this mean for, say, small and medium businesses? When you offer this level of cognitive labor for free, that has to shift the competitive advantage overnight.
It's an instant silent transformation. It just levels the playing field globally. Let's look at this case study of the independent publisher in Barcelona.
Okay.
They specialize in adapting really technical literature, like software guides, for different European markets. Now, previously, they had to hire specialized translators who were experts in the niche subject and the language.
Right, those are unicorn workers. They're hard to find and they're expensive.
Exactly. Now they just feed DeepSeek the source text and some cultural adaptation guidelines. The model does the heavy lifting on the initial translation, and because of its huge context window and reasoning, it keeps all the specific technical terms right.
So the humans are just polishing at the end.
They're just polishing that final 10% of nuance, not doing the whole tedious first draft, and the result is a 70% reduction in production costs.
70%? Wait a minute. If I'm running a competing translation agency right now, I'm terrified.
You should be. It's happening as fast as a small business can sign up for a free account.
Yeah.
And we see the same story in the tech sector.
Right.
Take the programming studio in Mexico. They do back-end development. Debugging complex code finding, one tiny logic error can eat up, 30 to 50% of a developer's time.
Oh, yeah, that's pure sunk cost.
Yeah.
Just hours hunting for a needle in a digital haystack.
Precisely. So they feed the entire code base into V3.2's context window. The model acts like an instant pair programmer, flagging vulnerabilities and suggesting optimizations before the code is even run.
And the result?
They're reporting a 40% increase in overall developer productivity. Their senior people spend less time debugging and more time building new things. A startup now has the analytical power of a multinational. For free.
This just shifts the whole economic calculus. I saw the World Economic Forum number that tools like this could add something like $4.4 trillion annually to the global economy.
It's a massive number.
It sounds like a headline, but what does that enormous figure actually mean for us?
It means every knowledge worker, every lawyer, writer, analyst, coder is suddenly way more efficient. The barrier to entry for high-value cognitive work just collapses.
It's a global equalizer.
The ultimate one. And that's not even touching on education. This thing can function as an infinitely patient, knowledgeable, personalized tutor for any student with a phone.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Okay, that's the extraordinary potential. Now, let's inject a little necessary friction here.
Sure.
No system is perfect. What are the immediate technical ceilings that DeepSeek V3.2 is hitting right now?
There are still ceilings in three main areas. First, the problem of knowledge currency.
Right, the cutoff date.
Exactly. Its knowledge of the world stops in July 2024, so it can brilliantly analyze the historical causes of inflation, but it can't tell you this week's stock price.
So it's an expert historian, not a live news analyst. What about its intelligence? Is it always right?
Consistency is still an issue, especially at the intellectual frontier. It's excellent on maybe 95% of tasks. But if you push it on a really novel, unsolved problem in physics or philosophy, it can still introduce subtle errors, hallucinations. You need human oversight.
Okay. And the third issue?
A lack of persistent memory. It remembers 300 pages within one session, but every time you start a new chat, it's a fresh start. It can't build a long-term, evolving relationship with you over weeks or months.
So it's a brilliant consultant who forgets everything the second the meeting ends.
Good way to put it, yeah.
Okay, this brings us to the ethical and societal questions. The Stanford Institute of Ethics in AI identified 3 big watch points here.
And these are crucial risks, especially with this much power being so accessible. The first is bias transparency. Even if DeepSeek worked hard to scrub bias, the training data, billions of human documents, is filled with our own biases about gender, culture, you name it.
And those can get scaled up.
Devastatingly so. If you use it for automated hiring or justice models, you can have huge negative real-world outcomes. We need transparency on the inputs.
And the second point connects directly to those productivity gains we talked about, responsible job displacement.
Exactly. We are transforming cognitive labor at just an unprecedented speed. It's not just the translator, it's the paralegal reviewing documents, the customer service agent writing boilerplate emails.
A lot of roles.
We have a societal responsibility to manage this disruption. If we don't, we risk creating a massive displacement of skilled but suddenly obsolete workers. We have to prepare for that now.
And the final risk they flagged, maybe the most profound one, is what they call cognitive ecology. What happens to our own brains?
It's the muscle atrophy analogy. If you stop exercising your critical thinking muscle, if you just let the AI give you the clean, definitive summary every time, we risk losing that human element.
The creative frustration, the struggle.
Yes, the spark of insight that comes from that struggle. We have to use these tools to augment our thinking, not replace the act of thinking itself.
So at the end of the day, DeepSeek V3.2 just fundamentally changes the cost-capacity relationship in AI. It's an inflection point that says elite intelligence is now a commodity.
And this trajectory is only going to continue. Looking ahead, we expect full multimodal integration next, seamless handling of audio and video,
And personalization.
true, deep personalization. The AI won't just adapt to your knowledge, but to your specific cognitive style, how you learn best.
What about the idea AI is working together?
That's the cutting edge, intermodal collaboration, where you have different specialized AIs forming a synthetic team. And finally, look for edge implementations where parts of the model run directly on your phone without the cloud.
This all leads us to our final provocative thought for you to take away. The research is unanimous on this. The maximum benefit doesn't come from substituting humans, but from collaboration. It's about merging our uniquely human intuition and emotional intelligence with the AI's speed and pattern recognition.
So as you think about this incredible power that's now freely available, you have to ask yourself a question. Is this sophisticated AI a partner, a socio, helping you do better work? Or is it merely a substituto doing the work instead of you?
And what cognitive skills do you personally want to protect and continue to master, even when the AI can do them faster?
That really is the essential question.
It is the essential collaboration question of the 21st century, and the answer redefines the value of human work. Thank you for diving deep with us. We encourage you to reflect on how these tools are redefining not just what we can do, but what it means to think, to create, and to collaborate. Keep that curiosity alive. We'll see you on the next Deep Dive.